When I picked up the Droid Turbo, I thought about the actor in the commercial, James Franco. Then I said, I see why he dished the Turbo on lunch day. This thing is ugly. What's good, YouTube? This is my full impressions of the Droid Turbo. Full disclaimer, I can only give you my impressions of this phone because it's a loaner. So I won't have it long enough to actually do a full review, but a full day is long enough to give you my impressions of this device. So depending on what you're looking for in a phone, this phone may not be the one for you. If you are out installing cable, cutting grass, any type of work where you don't really care what happens to your phone or what it looks like, then this phone is for you. It's built to take a beating with the plastic frame, the ballistic nylon back, old school capacitive buttons, pulling it out among the aesthetically pleasing devices on the market like the iPhones, the Note 4s, the G3s, and you're going to get that look like, is that an S2? Taking a look around the phone, we have the volume rockers and the power button on the right hand side of the phone, which have a nice click to them. Not as good as some others, but it's good enough. The 3.5mm headphone jack along the top, charging port on the bottom. You have one front facing speaker there on the front, and the 2.1 megapixel front facing camera. On the back you have the 21 megapixel camera flanked by 2 LED lights. The Turbo does have the specs that us geeks get revved up about. The hardware, the Snapdragon 805 processor, the Adreno 420 GPU, 3 gigabytes of RAM. The ballistic nylon comes in a 64 gigabyte variant. So this is definitely in line with other flagships that's hitting the market right now. On the display we have the 5.2 inch Super AMOLED 4K display with 440 by 2560 565 ppi, and on the battery we have a 3900 milliamp battery, which is non-removable, said to give you about 48 hours of talk time, but we all know that's a lie. It may get you a day, probably not if you're an internet warrior. The battery charger does have the quick charge 2.0, allowing 60% charge in 30 minutes, and wireless charging is enabled, which is definitely a plus. Taking a look at the camera, we have a 21 megapixel rear camera flanked with dual LED lights on both sides of the camera. The flick your wrist to activate the camera returns and is a part of most Motorola phones, a feature I would actually like to see on most phones. It is able to shoot 4K video, also 1080p. Now looking at the software, at the time of launch it is running Android 4.4 KitKat out the box, which I'm sure the upgrade to Lollipop is coming soon. I think in the actual keynote of Motorola they did say it will be coming as soon as possible. Now benchmarks on this device are among the leaders, as you would expect, listening to the actual specs that this device comes with. So you can expect, for the benchmarks to be pretty good, and they are. So, like I said in the beginning, if you are in the industry where you need a rugged device, then this one is for you. At $199 on a 2-year contract or $600 outright, I couldn't see myself doing or getting this phone over any of the others that's on the market right now. The G3, the HTC One M8, any of those phones, the Note 4 iPhone, I wouldn't dare buy this phone as my daily driver to just have for the next 2 years. It's just, to me, it's just not, it's ugly. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. The actual device would probably get dirty. The one that I have here does have a little dirt on it, but it is expected. It's a rugged device and it's built for that. So to each his own. I don't knock anybody who buys it. It's a great phone. It's lightning fast. So take, you know, all that into consideration. But again, I just wanted to come to you guys and give you my impressions of the Droid Turbo. So it is a good phone. Don't get me wrong. Motorola does a great job with the software, staying out of your way, not being overly taking over Android out of the box, but just giving you a few features that you can actually use. Well, guys, I do appreciate you watching my videos. Don't forget to comment, subscribe. You know what it is. Peace.